G'day cobbers, welcome back to the bush. In this video we'll be looking at winch hooks. Which one's better? And should you even bother with a winch hook in the first place? And if you don't, how can you work your way around it? Stick around to the end of the video and I'll show you how to join a winch line to a winch extension without even bothering with a shackle. Let's get into it. First up, let's have a look at the standard fitment to most winches, and it's this style of hook. It's a clevis slip hook, so this part being the clevis. Now, this is the gate of the hook, this is the bite of the hook, and this is obviously the tip of the hook. Now, the problem with this sort of hook is it's only rated when you're loading from the clevis into the bottom of the bite of the hook. Now, that's fine if you're just running a chain on here, or maybe a winch extension, other than the fact you've got a piece of metal in the middle of your rigging. But if you're trying to put a tree trunk protector in there with two eyes, you're probably not going to get them both in with the gate still closed, and you'll probably be tip loading the hook. The issue with tip loading the hook is the tip isn't rated to as much as the rest of the hook. So if this hook were, let's say, 4 ton, the tip is usually about 10%. So that's around 400 kilograms. Is that enough to do the recovery? Probably not. That's why I don't run that style of hook. So are there better options for hooks? Let's have a look. The next kind of hook I'd like to introduce you to is the clevis safety hook. And the great thing about the clevis safety hook is it has a button at the back here. And when you activate the button, you can open up the gate. And when you shut the gate, it physically locks it in. Now, that's a great attribute. Now, additionally, when you load this in between the clevis and the bite of the hook, it actually puts more tension onto the gate, so it won't physically come undone. The problem with this sort of hook for recreational four-wheel driving is to put more than one strap in the hook, you're still going to need a bow shackle. This is the type of hook you'll see on the bottom of a tower crane working on a multi-storey development in major capitals around Australia and the world. They're solid, they're reliable, they're dependable, but if you're recreational four-wheel driving, are they the best solution? I say not, because you're still going to need a bow shackle if you're putting multiple straps in. Now, if you're winch racing, this is solid and dependable, and time is of the essence. So this is the type of hook I'll be using. But what other solutions do we have? But what about your plain old bow shackle? Now, this one's rated to 4 3/4 ton with a factor of safety of 6 to 1. So they're not breaking it anytime soon. And from the factory, they're designed to allow multiple straps and not lose strength in the bottom of the bow. So that's a great thing. You don't need anything additional. All you do is grab your winch rope, bung the pin through there, tighten him up, and back him off 1/4 of a turn so it doesn't bind up, and that's it. That's a great solution. But what about soft shackles? The Johnny come lately onto the four-wheel drive recreational market. So let's have a look at those. Now, the next solution I'd like to look at would be the soft shackle, and they're a great advent that's come recently to the recreational four-wheel driving market. This one in particular is about 14.5 ton rated, MBS, and I'll get to that in a second, and it's made out of 1/2 inch sham steel blue. So you might say to yourself, well, this one's 14.5 ton, and the other shackle, my metal shackle, is only 4 3/4 ton. So this one's obviously better. That's not the case. So why is that? Now, that's 14.5 ton MBS, so it's minimum braking strength. So if this is tested up to 14.5 ton plus 1 kilogram and it breaks, it's still compliant, rated to 14.5 ton. Beautiful. Your metal shackle, however, has a working load limit of 4 3/4 ton with a factor of safety of 6. So it's not going to break to in excess of 30 ton loaded up the same. So that's twice as much as one of these. So how do we use it? So all we simply do is put it through the end of your winch rope. You'll notice I'm not using any sort of hook, which is a great thing. We get more metal we get out of the rigging, the better. And we put our 2 loops of our tree trunk protector through, put our knot through the end there, and that'll do. That's decent enough hook up to a tree trunk protector for a single line pull. Now, if you're really stuck, you're going to have to do a double line pull back to your vehicle, back to your recovery point. And that's the Achilles heel of most soft shackles. They don't like sharp corners. They have what's called a minimum bend radius. So sharp corners exceed their minimum bend radius, and that'll depend on the diameter of the rope, the minimum bend radius, below which you compromise the strength of your soft shackle. So if you have a traditional recovery point, like I do on the front of this vehicle, you're going to compromise the strength of the soft shackle with the sharp corners. So there you're going to have to use a traditional metal shackle, so you're not compromising your strength. And when you're compromising your strength, you're compromising your rigging and you're compromising your safety. So don't do it. There are, however, some coming on the market these days which are soft shackle compliant with nice wide radiuses, but not the ones I have on this vehicle, and it's probably not the ones you have on your vehicle either. Anyway, theory's all fine and well, but we're out the bush, so let's check it out, get ourselves stuck and hook ourselves up. And we're stuck. Okay, now we've got ourselves stuck, we're going to have to get ourselves unstuck. So we put a tree trunk protector around the tree here, and we've got a standard hook that comes with a winch. That's, I can't even shut the gate. It's going to slip out, maybe under load. It's just not a safe setup. You're going to need to put a bow shackle through both of those. Then, after you've done that and done up your bow shackle, then get your hook and connect it up. Now that'll work, but I've put extra stuff in there, which I probably don't need. Well, actually definitely don't need. So let's have a look at the safety hook now. Now on with the use of the safety hook. So this one's actually physically larger than our standard hook. So both of them actually fit in there and it shuts. But we're still point loading the hook there. That's not a great thing. So if you're winch racing, this is probably the solution I'll go for, but we're not. We're recreational four-wheel driving and there's better solutions. So we'll have a look at those. So here we go, just with our bow shackle. So pop our bow shackle through there. They both nicely fit into the bow. And all we have to do is put the winch rope through there. Screw down so we don't screw up. Back him off a touch so it doesn't bind up. And that's it. Good, safe, cheap. 15 bucks for one of these suckers. It's sometimes the simple things are often the best. And this is my usual setup. I usually just run a bow shackle. However, let's have a look at the soft shackle as well. And here's our soft shackle. So all we do, pop it through the end, run it through the sheath a little bit, and then after we put it through tree trunk protector, put the knot through, line it up, and we're good to go. That's a decent solution, but like I was saying before, these things are no good for recovery points. So as we said in the start of the video, let's have a look at how we're going to join a winch rope to an extension rope without ever using a shackle. So how do we join a winch rope to an extension rope? Now I'm using two soft shackles, but the principle's the same. This is just for convenience. So all you do is get the eye of one over the top of the other, and then get the end of the extension rope, bung it through the bottom of there, and there we go. We've joined with our strap. Now that'll work fine, except for the fact that once you put it under tension, you wouldn't get it undone. So this is exactly the same procedure we use for joining snatch straps. You just need to get something and bung it in there. Now I've got a strap joiner, not everyone's got one of those, I appreciate. So a rolled up magazine, thick magazine, the old four-wheel drive action or Clio for the ladies. And that'll work fine. You'll be able to put that under tension and then get it out afterwards. Don't use anything in there that you wouldn't be happy to be hit with. I know people sometimes like to use pieces of dowel. I wouldn't like a dowel shooting at me at in excess of 300 kilometers an hour. Now, if you don't think a strap or a rope is going to get up to those sort of speeds, click the link above, you might be surprised. That's your solution. Now guys, if you like this video, don't forget to give it the old thumbs up. If you didn't, by all means, give it a thumbs down twice. Thanks guys, we'll see you in the next one. G'day coppers, welcome back to the bush. In this video, the pandemic special. No, just don't bother, Simon. G'day coppers, welcome back to the bush. In this video we'll be checking out winch hooks.